Yes, we can start in 2 or 3 minutes. Like,
Okay, sure. Okay, guys. So we'll start the session. Uh, let me introduce myself. So I'm Prakash Tripathi, and I'm a tech lead in an MNC in Hyderabad, and I also uh, kind of contribute to the community by in form of speaking and in form of. Before that, may I know if I'm audible?
yes, Prakash, loud and clear.
Okay. Okay, sure. Thanks, guys. Okay, so apart from my regular job in a company, I also I try to find some time for my passion towards technical community, and I share my knowledge in the form of article writing and speaking at event and conferences. So my area of expertise include custom .NET development and using C Sharp, ASP.NET, and also Azure to extent, and all MVC API, etc. That comes SQL Server, that comes as part of mostly Microsoft stack, and also multi-threading and design patterns. And nowadays I'm taking more interest on architectural patterns and architecture also. So those are my kind of area of interest and skills, or whatever expertise, whatever you call it. And so this is pretty much about myself. So let's jump to the topic of the day. Okay, so we're talking today about cognitive services. Okay, so Azure Cognitive Services to be specific. So before we jump into that, let's spend some few minutes on understanding what is cognitive and what is cognition first of all. If we understand the background properly, it is easy to relate what we are talking further, right? So what is cognition first of all? So that is something, because we directly start and we never think about what exactly we are doing. So my approach is always being that we understand the first fundamentals, background, and why part of it before jumping about what and how of it. So what is cognition first of all, then we'll come about why we are using cognitive, why not something else, right? So cognition is, first of all, cognition is something that acquiring knowledge using the natural or human ways of getting basically human base. If I say in one liner, this is what cognition is all about: acquiring knowledge using human way, natural way, right? So that is like a layman way of understanding what is cognition. Of course we'll jump into the more technical and sophisticated definition of it, but this is what cognition is all about, and this is what the underlying philosophy of this cognitive services we have. Okay, so we kind of use the natural or human way to understand the things and to get the information, right? Now coming to this cognitive services. Okay, so we understood, okay, what is cognition first of all. Now what is cognitive services is doing here? So what Microsoft has done is they have put together different kind of services possible, like vision, and speak and knowledge and all search. So they have categorized all kind of services into five major categories. Will in subsequent slides will we talk about them, and also we'll have demos of on two of them. So we'll talk about the five categories we have, uh, broad categories of these cognitive services. So primarily what they are doing is, so for each kind of services, Microsoft has created REST APIs. Okay, so if you want to consume face API, there is a REST service for it. If you want to consume computer vision API, there is a REST service for it. If you want to consume text semantics API, there is a REST service for it, right? So we'll talk further later that how we exactly you can when we look at the code and all. But at high level, you can understand that there are set of APIs for each service that Microsoft expose in top form of REST APIs, and these are kind of nothing but cognitive services, right? So if I say in very oversimplify. Hey guys, sorry for the disturbance from my side due to network issues. I'm audible now.
Yes, Prakash.
Oh, oh, okay. Thanks, Bruno. That. Okay, fine. So let's resume where we kind of stopped actually. So what I was saying that these cognitive services are basically REST services. Those are for different purposes. So now let's go like let's see what all different you know and a bit about them. So I think we already spoke that. See, so these REST services, what they do is when they give you response, they always have this confidence factor. Okay, because in the cognitive services basically they are nothing but pre-built machine learning capabilities. So Microsoft has put together pre-built machine learning and they have named it as a cognitive services, right? So in any of the machine learning or for that matter cognitive services, they don't work on 100% confidence because they are kind of prediction only. So they are looking at your face, they're looking at the body, looking at the images, analyzing it, and giving the confidence factor. So for example, if any services giving you confidence more than 70 or 80, you can kind of rely that okay, this services this response I can rely and I can store into my system. So that threshold you means any developer who is using them can define based on the need. For example, if the confidence factor is below 50%, on a, so in those cases you may want to kind of leave that response. So always there is a response a confidence factor that also kind of gets generated in the response of these APIs. Okay, fine. So for example, how that works, let's see kind of hypothetically. So for example, you give a picture. Okay, so it will analyze that hey, this is about a person or this is about animal and things like that. So it has basically intelligence inbuilt that it can sense that it is a person or this is the animal or this is some trees or anything else. Okay, and when it identified that it is about a person, then of course it is about an image of the person, and then it will try to do some intelligence on top of that analysis, that emotional intelligence. And so basically this face API, if I talk about little deeper aspects, so basically it recognizes or it try to analyze the different what do you call structure of the face, internal structure of the face. So it divided your face into different sections, and then it analyzes that how those sections basically looks like, and gives the response. Okay, so for example, it can understand, we'll have a demo and we'll understand and look into that how it is and how basically it is telling and how, whether that is correct or not. But for now you can understand that it basically look into the images and gives you whether the person is happy, sad, and things like that. So it's pretty strong on that. Okay, now of course, why we're talking about lot about Microsoft Cognitive Services is because Microsoft has invested a lot on them to make them easy for developers, right? Developers simply need to kind of use them, of course, as a form of REST APIs, and basically massage the result in case they want to, and move on basically. So basically, make your app more intelligent. There is a goal behind Azure Cognitive Services, right? Making apps more intelligent. Okay, so not just that, they are not just talk, but Microsoft, as I said, invested a lot. So making them easy and flexible and testing, right? So there is a, if you go to GitHub, you will find that these APIs are evolving on a regular basis. So they are keep adding the features. So if I remember last time, the count was somewhere around 25, but I heard that there are several now in betas, and so they are keep evolving and they keep adding the features on the five broad categories that I just before some time I spoke about. And also there is a huge community support. So if you are building your application, suppose you're stuck at some place, some API is failing, so there is a huge community support as well. It's not that you left kind of in isolation, that you used it and there is no support. Okay, so you will find the good support in Stack Overflow and other community sites also, and even C Sharp Corner also we have many articles on them, or even in forums also. Okay, So to make it work, you need a key. So basically, we'll see later more about a key, that you need a token basically. So for each service, there is a separate token. If you want to learn, Microsoft gives us you basically trial a key for a month. But of course, that is for learning purpose. Of course, if you want to use that in a production environment, means you want to earn profit from you for yourself. So Microsoft also expects a bit of it. So for production purpose, you need to buy a key, but it's not that costly, so you can still kind of think about it and use it. Okay, fine. So this is the basically screenshot I took from MSD, and to kind of show you what are different services available at this moment. But this list is keep on changing. So this is a list when I took it. So if you want to get a latest list, you can go to this URL, microsoft.com cognitive. So you will find latest and greatest on them, right? Because it's a live site and keep changing every time. So I was talking about, if you remember, 5 broad categories of cognitive services, right? Azure Cognitive Services. So these are the 5 broad categories we have: vision, speech, language, knowledge, and search, right? As the name suggests, under each category we have like subcategories. Like for example, vision, we have computer vision, emotion, face, video, and few of them are in betas. I have not put into them. So today we'll have a demos, and also we'll look into the code how you can use them about on face and computer vision API. Okay, just kind of for reference. So guys, any question you have so far? Let's make it more interactive. I prefer to have a more interactive session instead of I'm just speaking and you're listening, right? Whatever you know about cognitive services so far, whatever you if you have used them, just you can also share your experiences, right? And if you have any questions, you can pitch in. You can stop me there. Any question, guys, or any thoughts, comments, anything you have about cognitive services? Any questions comes in your mind? You can speak up. It's a good forum to kind of speak as it's more of a discussion, right? It's not just I'm just preaching some knowledge, and of course whatever I know I'm kind of delivering, but at the same time you can also if you have any query, questions, this point you can make it. Okay, fine. So
Hello,
if you don't have
Prakash.
any at this moment, hello, go ahead please.
Yeah, good evening. Myself, Harihara from Tamil Nadu. And there is some linguistic analysis mentioned in the category of language, right? So,
Mhm.
is that something related to natural language processing, NLP?
uh,
Is that
yes,
any part of
it is under. Yeah. So underlying concept is the same that you are talking about. So what Microsoft has done, right, for developers, right, who are not from AI or ML background. So Microsoft has
Okay,
taken away, abstracted the complexity of it, and exposed that as a service. Are you getting it?
okay, got
So
it. Yeah, yeah,
exactly. So you can pass on the text and it will give you a result. See how simple Microsoft has made it, right? So, because otherwise people need to
yeah,
learn
yeah.
that be yeah, we all know that how complex this machine learning and AI is. Of course, if somebody has interest, for them it's not complex. But somebody who is lazy and don't want to kind of go deeper, or lazy means it's not always a bad, but basically don't want to kind of get into that, right? Just want to use it, right?
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Fine. So thanks, Hirana, for asking questions. So let's move on. So we are focusing more on vision today because we have 2 demos also planned for this. So let's focus more on vision. This is the first one, and it's more like easy to start with and understand it. And once we understand this, we can go on subsequent, right? So on vision, we have quite a few here, 4 of them, and some of them are in beta that I have not took here. So computer vision is one, and face API is one. Okay. So at a high level, right, face API, as the name suggests, it will analyze the face. It will analyze the face and gives you different readings or different analysis in the form of JSON response. The keyword also here is JSON response. So these all API returns response in a JSON format, not in XML or anything, any other response, right? So it's as we know that JSON is a pretty popular format and it's lightweight and all. So that is what Microsoft has also done. We can further massage, right? JSON.NET API, most of us know. So we can massage in a way we want. We can deserialize and all, and also we can put into the format we want, but the raw response that comes from API is of JSON. And when we look into the code, we also look at that we can also control the amount of information we want, right? Because it can give you tons of response or attribute, but you may not be interested on all of them. So what we can do is we can also send as an input parameter. Hey guys, I'm audible now?
Yes, Prakash.
Oh man, these technical issues are like keep coming. Anyway, good that I'm able to resume later. Okay, fine. So let's resume where we left. Okay, so yeah, we were here that we're talking about. Yeah, so we were talking about computer vision. So computer vision is more powerful. It has more capability to analyze in the entire landscape, not just the face. Okay, fine. So now let's go deeper on face API. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just confirming again that my screen is also visible, right? Yes.
No, Prakash. Your screen is not visible.
Kasam, can you please
Yeah, I
uh,
made you the presenter.
yeah, I'm just again accepting
See,
this
now
invite.
it's visible. Yeah.
Visible? Okay, great. Fine. Fine, guys. So yeah, so it's visible, right? Okay,
Yes, yes.
fine. So okay, great. So yeah, so I just kind of finished this description about computer vision. Now I'm just we are moving into more deeper on face API, and we'll have the demos and all. Okay, so coming to face API, so this is how it works, right? So for example, you're passing a image, it will give you basically the response like this. So it is telling you that basically 5 different faces detected. So on an image, it can detect that how many faces are there. So you can think about it, right? Scenario about that, you want to see that on an image how many people attended or how many people are there, right? So instead of going one by one and counting manually, you can use this particular API, and that can give you count. Yeah, of course the count may not be 100% right, but even if you're getting approximate number, also suppose 95% correct, right? For example, there were 500 people or 100 people, if it is giving you 95, 96, but it is giving you fairly good idea that okay, these many people came, right? Instead of you counting one by one. So this is a one scenario, right? Just came in my mind. Or you can also think of that it is giving you the count of the faces, right, on any picture. If you pass on the picture as an input to this API, how will pass on, we'll have a look in shortly. And as I was saying, that it gives the JSON response, right? And if you look at down, though it's screenshot, right? But yeah, of course we'll have a look in a demo. But it is, if you look at the scores, it is giving you anger, contempt, all kind of emotional, you know basically attribute, and it gives the percent. Okay, so for example, if you're putting somebody is laughing, that person pick, it will tell you that okay, this person is happiness is 99%. See, one more point again, one catch here is that it gives the result between 0 to 1. Okay, 0 means minimum and 1 is highest. It's like probability, right? We all study in schools and colleges. So it's like 0 to 1. So 1 is maximum. So it can tell you that okay, hey, this somebody is laughing. It can tell you 90.98 is a happiness emotions, and maybe zero point 0.2 maybe something else. So that can give you fair idea that this person is really happy. So again, so apart from count, uh, for example, you want to analyze that. Suppose there is some, I'm just giving some hypothetical, but it's a kind of real world scenario as well. Suppose there is some kind of photo kind of, all kind of presentations, right? So there is a photo presentation, and you want to see how people are perceiving it. So maybe you can take take a picture on regular intervals, and in the background you can have an engine that is keep analyzing that. You can call that, and it can read the emotions and can tell the person after reading the picture, person are kind of getting frustrated, angry, not so happy, or really they're kind of getting, their emotion or their face is kind of getting happier. So it can give you real time or near real time feed. Basically you can of course input the feed, and it can gives you a response on a real time or real time basis that how people are taking it. So suppose you want to make some changes on a spot, or something like that, you can take action on it. So it's like live feedback you can receive, right? So this is the uh, use case you can think about in real world. Okay, so I'll show you one case study, that is kind of where it is on day as we are speaking, it is being used in Uber, right? So I think most of us, or I would say all of us, know that at least who travel, right? What is Uber and all, right? It's pretty popular in India as well. So in Portugal, it is kind of there is a use case that is because Portugal is little kind of not that not to kind of put a picture of not a safe country, but there are a lot of crime, and it's pretty, even India also we have a lot of crime, but that is in Latin America, right? It a little more risky actually, right? Because of drugs issues and all. So what Uber has done is that they are really validating the drivers whether the same driver are riding the vehicle or not, right? After in some intervals. Okay, so because what happens sometimes somebody can put a gun and make the driver unseat and sit on the car. So Uber is kind of cognizant of these kind of risks. So what they have done is they have put this Azure Face API on their smartphones, drivers' smartphones, and they're popping the message on a regular interval that, hey driver X, you please authenticate yourself. So what driver needs to do is driver need to take a screen pic of himself or herself and upload. So this Azure Face API, because they already have driver's previous photo or photos, so they analyze that this is the same driver who is driving or not. Okay. Of course, if some other person is there, it is so intelligent that it understands that okay, this is not the same person who is driving. Then Uber can put some kind of SOS or some kind of security mechanism in place, right? It can alert. So this is a on the ground use case that is done by Uber using Face API. We'll have a small 2 minutes video to kind of make you understand more. But what you can, as you can read this the slide, that it's about Uber. So as I said, like driver take selfie periodically to check the identity, right? And the match is very fast. Okay. Uh, and of course there are many drivers, so thousands of sign-ins every year. And as I said, it compares the photo, right, with different poses and all. So it is smart enough that if somebody has putting different pose, it is still able to understand that this is the same person or not. Okay, and not just that, but it's also kind of able to understand or able to guess or able to read the picture in even in nights also. Of course, there should be some light, but yeah. And interesting thing here is that it is so simple or easy to kind of integrate in your application. For example, as you read here that they had some kind of Java front end and Go backend with Python. So they were able to integrate Azure Face API within 3 weeks, right? It's pretty fast integration and delivery, right? If you compare with regular projects. Okay, fine. So let's see that what I'm trying to say. So let's watch this video. Basically, it will tell you that. So if you want to go more, there are many case studies done using this API, different APIs. So I just picked one of them because Uber is easy to relate because it's pretty popular in India as well. So I took this one, right? So this is I opened over here. So I'll play this for you, and you can also go yourself and see other stories. It will tell you the power of this Face API, what I was trying to say. Fine. So this is the now let's continue where we left. Okay, so now the enough talking and enough demo and basically video. Now let's come to the code, what we love, right? Okay, so let's look at the code, how basically this is done and what we need to put exactly. Okay, so I'm just opening a demo that I prepared for you guys. Of course, it's easy to understand demo. You can also find in Microsoft sites also to understand, and even you can also kind of make it more complex as per the need. But the idea here is that you know that how to consume that. Okay. Okay, so this is taking its own time. Just bear with me. Fine. So let's look at. Let me first run this and show you this something working, and then I'll show you the code and another requirement. Okay. So I made this already a startup project. So let me quickly run this. Fine. This is WPF screen I have, this YAML one, and here I am basically what I'm doing is, yeah. So I have kind of different screenshots of the some of the famous personalities. Okay. So okay, let me take anyone. Let me take this guy who is pretty popular in South. So let me take this guy. Okay. So this guy, the Mr. Bahubali, let's examine. Okay. Fine. So Mr. Bahubali is kind of being examined by this API, and if you let me make it short because it is coming in this way. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So guys, let's look at. So of course we have mustache the data on top of the JSON response. That's why you see a rectangle in the face. And but the important point here is just look at here. Okay. Look at here because here we are writing or printing the result. Okay. So just look at this face. It is telling you male. Can you see that? Guys, can you see that? Hello.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
Prakash.
Okay, great. Okay, cool. So just look at the kind of detail it is able to tell you. So it is smart and intelligent enough that okay, this guy is a male. Okay, age is 38. Of course, it may be like maybe 2-3 years here and there, but it is pretty close. Okay, a smile 58%. So of course he's not laughing as such, but again he has some smile, so it is still telling you 58%. It is kind of emotions comes out as a smile. Okay, happiness of course very pretty close with that smile. So again same percent. Neutral is again, so he is smiling as well as not like literally laughing, so he also keeping neutral face to extent, so this percent is again 41%. Look at again one intelligent attribute, no glasses. Okay, so it is smart enough that it knows that okay, this guy has not wear any glass. I'll tell you on other thing that it is even more smarter that it can tell you that not just the glass yes or no, but kind of glass. So it is also that is smart that it will tell you that okay, hey, this is a reading glass or this is some other glass. So it's really kind of fascinating. Of course, hair bald is he has big and good hair. So of course he is not bald. He's just 2%. Brown. So hair color, all kind of attributes this API gives you, and they are almost very close. I'm not saying they're 100% because nobody can give you 100% in any of the AI or cognitive world, right? But the getting closure is what we always expect for, and it is kind of pretty close to the reality. Okay, now let's take other picture. I was saying about class, whether it is really able to understand the class or not. Now I'm telling this Mr. Mr. Big B, his you know his angry young man kind of timing photo. Okay, now let's look at. Fine. So that time when the photo was taken, he was maybe nearby 34. So it is like 34. See, now look at the smile. He's not smiling at all. Yes, that's why smile is 0%, right? He's like typical, professional, people. He's just keeping his emotions very neutral, right? So he is really, you can't understand what he's up to, but yeah, that's what the so it will tell you that if he's not able to understand the emotions, it will tell you upfront in form of percent that okay, hey, I'm not able to understand what this person is of having emotions of, right? Now the important thing I wanted to highlight here is that look at sunglasses. Okay, so it is able to understand first of all that he has some kind of glasses. Of course, because he already kind of told you that he's a male, and also the glasses are of sunglasses, right? So because they have some color on top of them, so it is that granular level, it is telling you that hey, this is not just a glass but sunglass, right? And other attribute also, you can see that he has also having blonde kind of hair, right? Brown kind of. So so all kind of hair color also, I have just taken few attributes, but this API is even deeper about also able to give you that whether the person has a makeup or not. I don't know how they are doing. They are of course using some advanced machine learning algorithm to analyze the all kind of data, but this API is very advanced. Now I'll take one more, and then we only have I think hardly 10 minutes, so we'll also talk about computer vision one. So I'll just take one more that here if you look at, let's look at this Salman, he's also popular. Okay, so again the picture, when the picture was taken, it is telling you is a male and 37. Okay, pretty close. Of course I'm talking about the time this picture is taken, not now. Again, he is like pretty professional picture, not revealing the emotions, so neutral. And look at this glass here. This time is coming as a reading glasses, guys. Look at here, right? So reading glass. So it is again smart enough to guess that okay, this time the glasses are pretty clean and there is no color on them. So most likely they are reading glasses, right? Okay, fine. So let's quickly look at the code, how this intelligence is coming in picture and what we are doing this, right? So if you remember, I told that what you need initially is you need a token or keys. Okay, so since I got privileged to become Microsoft MVP as well, so I have Microsoft MSDN account and I got some keys to kind of test and those kind of things. So I do have my keys here, and those are stored here in config file. Okay, but how I'm using them, let's look at the code and how I'm calling the REST API. Okay, so this is the code actually. This is sample code. I just took and changed something, but important here is point here is that I'm reading this keys and URL, guys. Okay, so keys are the keys that you can get for free for 1 month, and URL is something, if you remember, in Azure we have we have different kind of locations, right? Like South India, West US, and things like that. So there is a URL also, and that you need to kind of it gives you URL as well. Okay, so what I'm doing is, if you remember, I was clicking on browse button, of course, and nothing fancy. It is opening the dialog box to browse your picture that you want to analyze. Okay, all .NET kind of stuff here. It is detecting. Look at this. So this is the critical thing that we are interested on, right? Where exactly it is going to call REST API. Yeah. So this method has this thing. So if you look at this, this is the method that is doing the job. Detect async, right? Let me put F12 here, and it will tell you that this is of iFace service client. Okay, so this is the basically API that is doing our job, basically job of analyzing the picture. Okay, and if you look at here, I have this kind of packages also. I have taken this face, right? So you also need to take NuGet packages. Okay, and of course JSON is nothing but to kind of simplify the JSON response, right, to deserialize. Okay, so this is a API that I'm calling, and I remember I was also talking that you can customize the data you want, basically. So this is what I'm doing here. So I'm basically filtering the attribute that I'm interested on. I'm interested on gender, age, of course, a smile, and face emotions, and glasses, and hair. These 5 things I'm interested on, not on tens of things, right? So I am passing this to API that, hey, give me attribute of this type only. So that I'm passing, I'm passing here attribute. If you look at attribute, it is being passed in this call in the right most parameter. Okay, and I'm also have there are some other settings written. Face landmark, suppose I made false, and face ID I don't need, because it also gives you, if there are many pictures, right, it gives you some ID as well. So there was no need to kind of to show you guys as in demo, so I made it false. And see, this is the file that I need to convert into streams. Okay, so that file that I remember I uploaded a file, so that file I need to convert into streams, right? So this is the simplest way, right? We in .NET we have, so this is the stream we are passing. So these are the parameter we are passing, and we are getting a response. Okay, so this is the response we'll get here. And what I have done is, so I have again kind of massage this the response. So if you look at this method, it is being called here. And once I have the response here, if you look at, we are massaging in and putting into the presentable format. So if you remember, we are making it rectangle and we are putting into the down, right? So that's what we are doing. So we are painting into the, when you're clicking on photo, remember we are kind of showing a rectangle. So that's what we are doing it here. Okay, so this is about, and in the bottom side, if you remember, we are showing different thing. So in a percent, we are multiplying by 100, so that it's easy to relate what percent is. But response is coming in a 0 to 1, between 0 to 1. Okay, fine. So in the interest of time, let's quickly look into that also. Other one, computer vision, right? We spoke a bit about the computer vision. Basically, it is more detailed API that gives not just the emotion, but it will give you more detailed information also, right? For example, you want to have some kind of application for child, so you can also have filter that any explicit content should not be coming. So you can also have, there is a filters, like whether it's adult content or not. So it is smart enough to understand the pictures, analyze in more detail that kind of data is coming in, whether it is suitable for minors and all. So all kind of scenario, you want to analyze that what is surrounding, the picture is. For example, it will give you that this person is swimming, right? Not just the face, but it is giving you this attribute also. If you pass on this particular image, if it will give you that, okay, this is a cow, and this is there is around, there are greenery around, lush green, and green field. So the cow is, so basically it give you description also, more detailed description after analyzing the image. Let's quickly have a demo of this as well. Okay, so that you can easily relate what I'm telling. So let me make it startup, and let's look at. So this is a simple console application I have, but never mind. I need to pass the URL to this. Okay, so let's go to the folder that we were. Okay, so for example, I want to analyze this beautiful picture, right? Some waterfall. So let's see whether it is intelligent enough to tell me that whether it's a waterfall or not, and what are different attributes it is giving. This is also important, right? So let's give this URL into this console. Yeah, and just put enter. Now it will make a REST call, the other API that we are talking about, computer vision API, and it will give you the response. This is the raw response I'm printing this time. So that there is a variety, right? I showed you once WPF and one this, so that you can understand that what all things it is possible, right? So if you look at the image one more time, and then you can relate how correct and how close to reality this response is coming into. Okay, so look at this image, right? And look at the response that is coming from this API. So it is telling you outdoor water. See, it is very close. Yeah, there's a water, and this is outdoor also. See how intelligent and this API is. And description, see the different tags it is able to find after analyzing this picture. All seems very true. Nature, water, waterfall, outdoor, rock, mountain. See, this is all we see, right? So look at the use case. So for example, you are uploading you have application where you are uploading multiple pictures, right? You want to put some description on them, and you have, otherwise if you don't want to use this, you need to manually go. Suppose you have thousands of pictures. Think about it, you need to manually go one by one and put description. If you pass these images in suppose in a loop, of course you need to kind of have this uh, error handling and all, because it's a network response, but we all know that how to handle. But in either case, you can pass these pictures and see kind of description it is coming, right? It is also giving you caption. Caption means description. See, it is giving you a large waterfall over a rocky cliff. That is what it is displayed here, right? So you can store this caption text response in a description, and you can store in database, right? So that is just on the fly use case we just looked at, that you can supply the description coming in for a picture, and without manually going one by one and analyzing it, right? So you can use the intelligence of this computer vision API. Now we are almost on top of the hour, so quickly look into the code of it, how exactly it is doing. Okay, so it is again not too different from face API. Only thing is here again two things we need to kind of have: key and URL, and the method that is being passed to you know uh, what do you call Azure Cognitive is this one. Okay, so this is the here. So if you look at this is the read string async, that method we are passing here. Okay, and here is a REST API call we are making, post async again. Okay, this is a method we are calling, and what we are passing here is again content. So remember the content, that content is nothing but a basically picture, the stream version of it. Okay, so we are passing the content, and URL is nothing but uh, that URL we have here actually. Here we are basically formatting the URL. Basic input parameter, remember that we were saying about that how many parameter we are interested on. So we are interested on categories and color and description. So we can set actually what all different things we are interested on, and this is something URL is required for REST API call a bit different ways here. So that's why we are passing in this way, and this is the content is nothing but an image. So these two things we are passing, and we are getting a response. And what we are doing again is we are kind of this response we are uh, okay. So after getting this right, we are again getting this. So this is, so there are two call happening here. Is one is this, first we are calling this, and based on that we are again getting this JSON string, right? So, and we are simply painting this JSON, we are not doing any massage. So that's why you see all the information that is coming in. Okay, so this is the way we can call computer vision API by passing the URL of the image. Guys, any question? We are on top of the hour. Any question on these two APIs, or any question or cognitive services that we spoke in general? Did you learn anything new here? Any interesting scenarios that you can think of on your applications? Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, Prakash, you're audible.
Okay, guys. Okay, so any question you guys have, please, you can ask me right now. If you want to go through on more detail and want to come back, you can still do that. You can just tweet me on this URL, sorry, this handle, and I'll be happy to respond to you. Right? Any question related to this cognitive service in general, or to be specific, what we just had a session today. Okay. So thanks for joining the session, and thanks Kasam for giving me opportunity to speak with community. So
Hey, thank you, Prakash. Thanks a lot for your time.
Kasam,
not a
Uh,
problem. Yeah, guy. Somebody, any
yes,
question?
Manoj wants to say something. Yes, Manoj.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, Prakash. What I wanted to ask is, like, if I want to create like the Face API and use case you have given me, right?
Hmm.
The Uber use case which you showed. So what I had
Okay.
done, like, can we develop a this kind of like Face API, the application where a person is coming in, whether he's wearing the iCard, and is it possible also to get notice of that photo which is there on the iCard?
Yes, of course you can do that. So iCard for iCard, right? iCard may not be coming in the face, right? In that case, you can think of computer vision API, right? That will analyze that particular image, and you can customize. So basically it will tell you different things, right? So if you look at the response, see, so it will give you different tag. Okay, different tags. So one tag, it will also be kind of hopefully we telling you about different tag somebody is wearing, but it has certain limitations. So on a very specific scenario that you may have, there is something called to handle those, there is something called custom way of doing that, right? So custom way of doing that, if you want more control on the scenarios, there is something called ml.net that has been introduced. However, that is still not in production, still in preview. Latest I remember is it is in 0.5. So that is a customized machine learning. So this cognitive services, what we know is, or what we just gone through is automated or pre-built machine learning capability. Like for example, you can relate like built-in function versus custom functions, right? So it's more of a built-in function thing. But what you can try doing that is getting into these tag and catching the tag, filtering the tag. So suppose one picture is giving you tag of, it will analyze that particular picture. If it is giving you some kind of id card tag, so then you can have other picture also coming in. If somebody is missing that tag, means the person has not wore this id card. Did you get that?
Yeah, Prakash.
Okay.
Uh, what I wanted to ask is, if we see that in the ID card we have a photo, so is it
Yep.
possible to photo with the person who is wearing the ID card? So can this also be handled in this?
See, so it analyzes basically to, if you want more detail information about face per se, then you need to use face API. Okay. So face API gives more detailed information about face expressions and face detailing. Okay. And whether the person is of the same person or not next time coming in. If you want to check the identity of the person, then face API is the one. If you want to analyze the picture surrounding and whether the picture is of any particular any description of the picture and all, then computer vision API is for you. So for different purpose, different use cases, there are different APIs available, right? So you can decide which is the most close match in your case. So if you want to analyze the photo or identity of the person, then face API is the way to go for you.
Okay.
Okay. So to get other like available services, as I was kind of showing, this is a past like Microsoft.com Cognitive. You can see like what is the latest and greatest coming in from Microsoft on these, and whether there is any closest match beyond these two we just spoke about that can suit your scenario. Okay. So that is from my side today. Thanks everyone for joining and asking some questions as well. So really appreciate that, and have a great evening and rest of the weekend. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Prakash, and thank you everyone for joining. Really, it was a great session, and I will be publishing the video of like recording of the session soon over the website and YouTube both. And would like to look forward for your participation for tomorrow's webinar. It will be with Mr. Bivo. He's a Microsoft MVP from Mauritius, and he will be getting us through the production release strategies and all. So there will be lots of demo tomorrow also with Angular, web app, containers and all. So looking forward for all of your participations over there. Thank you, Prakash, again for your time during the weekend, and thank you everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.